Hi guys. So today I want to give someone a solution, and I think this is something that is going to help you to change the way you look at things. Now you may ask, why am I qualified to give you such a solution? I am a spiritual advisor, and I use my gift of discernment to bring a solution to what may be a problematic situation. Right, and I don't speak about it a lot, but I can see now that it is time for me to step into what I need to do, right? The men who are going back to high school and varsity to approach young girls, right, are men who have faced a lot of rejection in their life. And most of the rejection came because they didn't look a certain way. They didn't have the financial means to date the girls they really did want to date. They were not seen, they were not validated, and they were not appreciated. Some of them have faced rejection in their homes. They have not been validated in their homes and have went to seek validation and acceptance in the streets. Most men who have struggled to date are men who were not raised by their fathers. They are men who may have been raised by their fathers, but emotionally their fathers may have been absent. So they haven't been guided enough in their life to understand how the dating space works. They were not taught how to handle rejection, and they were also not taught how to be good boyfriends. So they've had to fend for themselves, and they've had to raise themselves, and they've had to find their own position in life based on the teachings they would have gotten from the streets. So the issue now is, because they spent their whole life going through rejection, not being validated, and the works, they've settled for women who seemed to like them for who they are. But deep down, these men have always known that these are not the women they want to be with. But because these women accepted them and chose them, they settled with these women or for these women. Some of these men are still not married because they are at their peak. And their peak enables them to continue fulfilling the fantasy of dating these hot women they wanted to date back in high school and in varsity. So the ones that are married would then cheat on their wives with multiple young girls, because obviously the thrill that comes with being with these women makes them feel powerful, makes them feel seen, makes them feel validated. Now, once these men are at their peak, having gone through the experiences that they have gone through, whatever it is that they have achieved in life is not necessarily for them to go back with their resources and pour into high school girls or varsity girls. The money they have accumulated and the wealth they have accumulated, or the financial position that they have accumulated, is for them to now put measures in place to assist their own boy children and their own daughters to be able to make it in the dating space. It is for these men to use the resources they have accumulated over the years to pour into their own, to pour into the fragile boys who are also going through what they went through when they were a lot younger. But because they are failing to see that that is their purpose right now in this life, they end up competing with their own children in the dating space. And that's where we need to fix, and that's where we need to resolve the issue. Because it is becoming a continuous pattern where these very same boys are going to be what their fathers were, because the cycle continues. Once these men, old men, pour into their boys, they are able to teach them how to handle rejection in the dating space. They're able to teach them the kind of pickup lines they should be using to score girls they really like. The resources, the financial resources which they have, should then be able to help their own boys take whoever they like on dates, buy lollipops. I don't know what kids of today do, but those things they wanted to do when they were younger but didn't have the financial means to do so are exactly what they should be assisting their own sons to be able to do. And once that is done, you will get a situation where fathers are able to groom their own sons in how to become outstanding members of society based on their own lessons which they had learned or have learned when they were a lot younger. And it is for these men to stop saying they don't talk to strangers about their problems, they don't talk to people they don't know about their problems, third parties about their problems. It is for these men to seek healing and therapy when they are at their peak, addressing the rejection they went through when they were younger, addressing the fact that their own fathers were not there for them when they were growing up. Because the whole thing of saying, yeah, girls want what their fathers couldn't give them from other men is exactly what boys are going through. If their fathers were also there for them, supporting them financially, enriching them with what they needed to know in terms of handling the dating space, most boys would be confident in how they approach girls in the dating space. But because men like to use words such as, yeah, we are selfish, we love ourselves, we choose ourselves, that is why young boys today are graping and they are unaliving young girls, because they don't know how to handle rejection, because their fathers are busy approaching young girls and not pouring into their own flesh and blood. So, the whole point of being at your peak, yes, it gives you the confidence and the ability to be able to date better, if you want to call it that, to be able to choose the type of woman that you want to date. But the issue is, because you are dating for revenge, you are dating to meet needs that were not met when you were a lot younger. You are not dating to settle down with these girls. You are dating to tick boxes. And in most cases, you are dating because you have a hit list of how many women you need to go through before you can decide you are done. By the time most of these guys stop playing, they are old, they are tired, they are sick, and they now want to settle down with someone who's going to nurse them, because obviously now they are sick. And those that end up not getting married, or those who end up getting divorced, actually pass on, go to hospice somewhere, being looked after by nurses or being looked after by their own siblings, because they just didn't see how this was a trap, and that was causing them to not pour into their own. Now fathers are beefing with their own sons because they don't know how to give back to their sons. So you ask me, we need to reset. The supply of beautiful women is not going to end anytime soon, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, of course.